Welcome to Smackdown Live, August 2nd. This show was middle of the road. It wasn't a spectacular fantasy that we dream of, but it was okay. The first two things I'm going to talk about are the things I did not like about this show. Now, mind you, they did a good job doing what they need to do, but I didn't like them because of what they represent. Not for what they did, what they represent. And the first one is going to be about the women. Becky Lynch and Eva Marie, they had their moment. Now you're going to be seeing something good for Eva Marie. You're going to see something from Becky Lynch that you normally don't see. Okay. Carmella dealing with a Natalya. I'm glad to see Carmella working with a Natalya. Personally, Carmella isn't a very compelling character to me personally because she doesn't have Enzo or Big Cass by her side. She just seems empty. This persona she has is not a bad one, but really it needs to be progressed into something entirely different. We need a different type of Carmella. And I do believe this will happen in the next couple of months. Hopefully. They don't keep her the way she is. They need to change her. But here's the thing I hate about this. The women on SmackDown Live have nothing to do. There is nothing that's been talked about in Raw about going back and forth between both brands. Nothing. You have the Charlotte dealing with the Boss at the SummerSlam. And I took my time with that on purpose because that's how this feels. They're dragging their heels with this. What are the women going to be doing on SmackDown Live? When they were first introduced, it would have been better that Shane McMahon had introduced them each and let them come out and give them something special, because essentially letting them go out by themselves was not enough. Where's Naomi? You guys tell me below. You just saw out of the 6 women that are wrestling for SmackDown Live, you've seen 4 out of the 6. 4 out of the 6, that's it. Alundra Bliss and Naomi are the only ones left. So are they going to have a feud? And how long does this last? It makes sense they're going to be doing something with Naomi and Alundra Bliss, because they're the only 2 women that have not been paired up. But it's sad to see that's all they got. After a certain amount of time, you can shuffle the women around. But after about a couple of months, you will probably see everything they can do. And there's no title involved, so this is bullshit. And I'm going to keep saying bullshit, particularly for my Naomi Knight. And I'm going to flash her face in front of my face so people understand how upset I am that this woman has not been given any love. This woman has great ability. Yeah, she's not that great on the mic. But you know what? Not everyone are great on the mic. Well, great, anyone who is great on the mic, I'm saying is. Who cares? Naomi Knight needs better than this. And that upsets me. Next, the thing I really didn't like about the show. AJ Styles and Cena. Now, did their segments do well? Cena's segment was very good. But he always does the same thing in his segments, trying to show how much he loves the WWE. And it's always kind of mixed, but generally it does a good job of really hyping the people up. AJ Styles did a decent job, but here's what this represents for me personally. The burying of AJ Styles. We're going to have another match at SummerSlam, which means nothing, because there's no stakes involved. Nothing is involved with the stakes. We got nothing involved for these two going into SummerSlam. And if they drag this going beyond SummerSlam, it just makes AJ even more vulnerable to being buried. And we already know he's going to be. I know someone's going to say, well, no, he's not getting buried. He's getting good rub from John Cena. No, he's not. How many people do I got to mention? Rusev, Bray Wyatt. Those are 2 you should already know. Bad News Barrett, Ryback, CM Punk. I can go farther than that. The only person that didn't get screwed over totally was Daniel Bryan, is because the people pushed so hard for him not to be buried. So hard that the WWE had to listen to them for a short time, and now he's general manager of SmackDown due to his injury. He's the only one that's been over the most. Everybody else has been buried. And that's the saddest thing. Oh, ADR. Where's ADR right now? I don't see an ADR on SmackDown. Shouldn't he be doing something? Shouldn't he have gone up against The Miz? In other words, when it comes to the next match, which is not bad, Apollo Crews versus Kalisto versus Baron Corbin, become #1 contender for the IC title. I was alright with it. But don't you think they could have been better to have a real veteran in there? Like an ADR? Replace Kalisto with ADR. I would have liked to see that. But we didn't get that. But guess what happens? Baron Corbin didn't win. But he did get a hit on The Miz. Apollo Crews wins. And he gets nailed by The Miz. And Baron Corbin beats the crap out of a Kalisto who didn't get a chance to beat up on anybody. What do we got here? We're going to have a tag match next week. It's going to be Baron Corbin and The Miz versus Apollo Crews and Kalisto. At least giving us something to do until SummerSlam. I really don't want to see it. I could be wrong. I'll be fine if it's just Kalisto and Baron Corbin versus The Miz and the Apollo Crews. But I don't see that coming next week. Now let's do Heath Slater. Oh, I love this man. I know he's not the greatest talent, but he's funny. He does have good ring ability. And now they're doing this with him, which does not make me very happy, but in a sense it kind of does because they are emphasizing him. When it comes to Heath Slater, he's always been charismatic. We've always liked him. But let's be honest. They never really did much with him with 3MB. They never did much with him with the one-man band. And now after Jinder Mahal got his moment, what do we get for a Heath Slater? Next week he gets a chance at a match. And he's going up against Rhino. Which probably is not going to be good for Heath Slater. So they're going to drag this on with him going back and forth between SmackDown and Raw. Seeing who is willing to give him a chance that he may get a shot on the roster. I want something more for him. I keep saying this, I'm going to keep saying it. Heath Slater has ability. Heath Slater's charismatic. Put him on the main roster, it may work very well. But that's just me. Randy Orton versus Fandango. I kind of felt sorry for Fandango because this was not about him. This is about Orton kicking his ass and then getting his ass kicked by Brock Lesnar. This is what I don't like. 50-50 booking. Why not leave Brock Lesnar alone? Why not leave Randy Orton alone? Once one of them gets over, leave it. Leave it so neither one of them can interact like this. At least not so quickly. Couldn't you wait until the last week before SummerSlam for a Brock Lesnar to get revenge on a Randy Orton? And then let him have a brawl? In this respect, what we're going to have next week, we're going to have Randy Orton go back and then they're going to have the brawl? This is why I feel they made the mistake. They should have never let Brock come back. And, well, not come back, but basically let him nail Randy Orton so quickly. This 50-50 booking is very distracting. It's very annoying. And that's how I feel about it. Let's see. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, American Alpha! Ready, Willing, and Gable. That was the best match of the night. Against the Vaudevillains. I know you guys are going to say Dean and... Well, not Dean, but Dolph and Bray Wyatt. But I'm leaving that for last. And I don't believe it's the best match of the night. It was a great match, but it's not the best. This is about debuting guys. And Gable and Jordan did a great job. I did enjoy it. They have very great in-ring ability. What I hope they will show more of is their characters. Now, they have characters in NXT. But when it comes to SmackDown, they got no characters yet. They got to show how charismatic it can be. How interesting it can be. So the ring work is great. But if they don't have any characters, I'm going to get bored of them very quickly. So I'm hoping while they're dealing with the Vaudevillains, because it looks like they may, I hope they get them to talk. To show their character. Let them do some in-ring segments and then do some segments outside the ring, going to a gym, going running, going to track. I don't care. Just show more of them doing stuff away from SmackDown Live and away from the ring. Finally, if I'm forgetting anything, I'm sorry. Bray Wyatt versus a Dolph Ziggler. Opening of the show was nice to see Dolph and Bray. And there was a question, could Dolph make it work? Because Dean basically said, you know what? You had your shot, but you never managed to do anything. You and I are not alike. I'm way better than you. So what do we get? Which makes no sense. Bray Wyatt coming out basically saying, and Sister Abigail-ing a Dolph Ziggler, you can't do it, Dolph. You know I'm a better and more ability and more charismatic than you, which he is. Give me the shot. Wrestle me later. And I will show you that I am truly the one that deserves to be in SummerSlam. Now, does that work? No. I mean, it does kind of work for Bray Wyatt's character, but here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. I have not seen Bray Wyatt booked properly in almost 2.5 years. 2.5 years I have not seen this man booked properly. I don't care if he was with the Wyatts or by himself. He has not been booked properly. Going against Daniel Bryan and John Cena, he's not been booked properly at all. And I'm not even talking about the Shield. So seeing this, I just did not feel that Bray got a fair shake here. It's not about him winning the match. It was about him even getting involved in their situation with Dean and Dolph Ziggler. Dolph just needed a match with somebody. He could have had that with Kane. You could have put Kane up against Dolph to try and give him a real roadblock. That would have made more sense. Because Kane wants to show that he could run SmackDown Live or do something in SmackDown Live, then be a wrestler again. That, I think, would have been better. But then you put Bray in it, who has not been booked properly, who I didn't expect to win anyway. Yeah, they had a great match, second best match. But I felt Bray got such a shortchanging here that when this is all over, which it is, what does Bray go from here? He's going to be teaming up with Eric Rowan. Probably next week, dealing with Dean and Dolph Ziggler. Because they both got their butts kicked by him. I feel sorry for Bray. I feel sorry that he's not being utilized at all. We keep saying Dolph is not being utilized. How bad has it been for Bray Wyatt? But this is my point of view. You guys tell me below. And I hope you enjoy the SmackDown Live. Give me a comment below. Watch for my TNA review. And, have a good day and have a good night. And hope Bray Wyatt finally gets something good for himself because he ain't doing nothing. Peace!